Welcome to another episode of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. I am joined by my man, Jarett. We have quite the game Sunday. Some are calling it a Super AFC Championship preview.
Yeah, I would say that.
The Titans and the Patriots, but let's waste no more time. Juliana, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them in what has been a magical season to this point? Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50.
He's got it.
40.
He's got it.
20. 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
Welcome back to another episode of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. I am joined by my man, Jarett. Sal is trying to find the love of his life. He's at a picnic with his hair blowing in the wind, trying to find the next Mrs. Manfredi. So we have quite the matchup this week with the New England Patriots. Like I said in the opening, we could be a preview of the AFC Championship. Who knows? Crazier things have happened.
It's a couple of years ago.
Yeah, some are saying it is a distinct possibility. But Jarett, how do you feel about this weekend, my man?
Listen, everyone says win or lose. It's a make or break. I mean, season's over for both teams. I mean, what are they? 2-6 or 1-6?
Yeah, they're 1-6.
If you're looking at the tail of the tape, I got some numbers here. Offensively, their points per game is 15. Ours is 17. Who would have thought that? Yards per game is 174. Ours is 180. Very evenly matched across the board. Rush for the Patriots is 111 and 119. For me, I thought they played well against the Jets last week. Obviously, the Jets were struggling. Go figure, they beat the Texans last night. So I don't know what you're going to get with the New England Patriots team, but all I know is they have grit. They fight for Mayo, and as for fight and grit, it seems like the Titans don't have it right now because, like I said, we've been talking about leadership in that locker room. To me, I think they need a home win, our Titans, at home against a very evenly matched team against the Patriots. So if whether it be Will Levis or Mason Rudolph starting this game, because we don't know who is starting as per Jim Wyatt yesterday and even today for Callahan too. Whoever's the starter needs to spark this offense at home for our fans, just to get a little positive around the fan base, because there hasn't been nothing positive so far with this team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we need to – I hate to say it, I really do, but there's certain times when we know what the Titans are this year. We are a bad team, okay? When you know what you are sometimes, you know that you need to build for the future. To me, there's no shame as a fan in wanting to lose this game. I know there's going to be some fans out there that say, how could you be a true fan and root for them to lose? Well, I'm not necessarily rooting for them to lose, watching the game, rooting against them, but I think it would behoove us, $5 word, as a franchise to lose this game, okay? Because you look at last year, we could have drafted a few positions higher had we lost that last game to Jacksonville. And who knows who we may have gotten. I don't know, Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors. I don't know. Maybe we still would have ended up with Latham. But I think when you're bad and you're trying to build for the future, there's no shame in there's no shame being a fan and wanting to pick as high as possible when you know there's really no getting out of the mud this year. And there's no chance to get out of the mud this year.
Yeah.
That being said, we could very well win this game. Like you said, it's very evenly matched. I do know that L'Jarius Sneed is out. Calvin Ridley,
he's out, or he didn't practice? I saw they didn't practice today.
He's out.
Okay.
He is out. So that's looking like another wasted signing, in my opinion, or trade, because he hasn't been as advertised, in my opinion, and now he's missing games. So it's frustrating, but like you said, it's very evenly matched. We'll see what happens. Really, I think it's a coin flip. the fact that Vegas has this, I believe, as a -3 or 3.5 favorite,
Yep.
tells me the same thing it told me last night when I read that Jet spread. Okay, that's a Jet spread. Okay, there's no reason why they should have been given points to the Texans. So to me, that was a Jet spread. I actually did bet the Jets last night. To me, this is a Titan spread. Okay. I think there's no reason why we should be giving points to Cherry Hill East High School. Shout out my high school, let alone an NFL team. But not only are we a favorite, we're a 3.5-point favorite. I thought it would be a pick or one,
Close to it. Yep.
-1 or -2 either way. But the fact that we're given 3.5 tells me that Vegas thinks we have a good chance of winning this game. That being said, it could come to bite us in the ass when it comes to the draft. Okay, so if the Patriots and us finish with the same record, they're going to get the better pick, I believe, because we beat them in the head-to-head matchup. I think that's how it works, or it might be conference record first. Not entirely sure, but I think it would be better for us if we want to pick as high as possible to lose this game. That being said, I think the recipe for us to win this game, if we want to win this game, is feed Calvin Ridley. I said it to you guys when we were in Nashville. There's a reason why we paid him $100 million. He can still play football at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
And he proved it last week when he gets the targets. And people were trying to clown on him when he wasn't the first few weeks, when he had, 9 catches over the first, 5 weeks, something stupid like that. And people were saying, oh, you paid $90 million for this player. He's got 9 catches. He's got less than, a couple of 100 yards, yada, yada. Well, we saw what he could do when he's given his fair share of targets. And to me, pepper him with targets. Pepper him with 15 targets. Get the ball in his hands, end around screens, bubble screens. I believe Tajay Spears is going to play, so that should be a little bit of a boost for our offense. And then defensively, do what we've been doing. Unfortunately, we've been letting up some points as of late, but that's because we're a bend-don't-break defense. But when your offense is putting all that pressure on you, eventually by the end of the game, you're going to end up breaking. So with their offense, is nothing really to write home about. They did score over 20 points last week against the Jets. I'm not sure who's playing quarterback for them this week, but I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to end up being a coin flip, and no outcome will really surprise me if we beat them.
Absolutely not.
But I personally think it would be better for us if you really want that quarterback, no matter if it's Shador or Cam Ward. I'm not too high on either of them personally. That you need to be picking as high as possible. And this is a game that we may look at the end of the year where we're saying, damn, we probably should have lost that game, because now we're sitting in that weird position that
I understand what you're saying, but let's say if we are fighting for quarterback, they're not going to go for quarterback. They got Drake May. I mean, if we're going for quarterback at that point, so that positioning really doesn't matter unless somebody's going to jump them.
I was just going to say, unless somebody wants to trade up with them and get a king's ransom for one of their picks, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Either way, with this game, what we see as a defense all the time, if it is Drake May to win this game, just like we did with the first week with Caleb Williams, we got to pressure to sit at a rookie quarterback, throw the kitchen sink at them, and make them adjust with him, or let him make adjustments at the line to confuse him with multiple looks. So it's plain and simple to me. With them averaging, or I should say, letting up 133 yards on the ground. To me, it's simple. We're just going to ground and pound this ball with both Tajay and Tajay and Tony Pollard, and we're going to dink and dunk, really, like my famous words all the time, down the field. I mean, they let up 234 yards per game, 356 total yards per game. So, I mean, evenly matched up across the board. But if the keys for victory is us, obviously, again, is to run the ball. Since we don't have Derrick Henry anymore, we could have done the same thing with him without him. But look what he's doing in Baltimore: run the ball and throw the kitchen sink at them. Surprisingly, I still don't understand how this line is still 3.5. It amazes me. Like you said, like the Jets line, I thought that was a little weird too. I stayed away from that game. Actually, I didn't stay away from that game. I lost on a parlay by 4 yards. That Dalton Schultz catch right before the 2-minute warning. I needed I needed 15 more yards for him, and I think it was like a 22-yard catch, and they called it back because he was out of bounds by this much. So I would have won some serious cash yesterday, so I lost that parlay by 4 yards. But speaking of parlays and speaking of the -3.5, why don't you hit DraftKings as our sponsor?
Absolutely. It promises to be a month of tricks, treats, and, of course, touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New to DraftKings? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Here's a reason for new customers to do a touchdown dance of their own. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdown. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code SICKSPORTS. That's code SICKSPORTS for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. Crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
And one of our new favorite sponsors is Varsity Coolers. Varsity Coolers is a line of sports coolers that are stylish as they are functional. It is a waterproof cooler that holds up to 30 cans cold for 18 hours. Whether you're repping your team, hitting the open road, rounding your friends up for a boat day, or just having a blast, you deserve timeless styles, peak functionality, and most importantly, ice cold beverages. Varsity Coolers is here to deliver all that and more. Guys, if you haven't seen Varsity Coolers, they sent us our very own Tennessee Titans one. I mean, you can see how ridiculously cool it is. I mean, it's got 2 side pouches. It's got a front zipper and a back zipper pouch for anything you want. It's got a stylish Tennessee map on it with a little, guitar and catfish and fried chicken inside of it. And 18 hours, I would say it does a little bit more than that because, like I said, I had the boys' birthday party last weekend. I put this out in the yard with beers and more beers and more beers, and it stayed really cold. So listen, it's a great cooler, and it also acts as a duffel bag as well. So you can wipe that stuff out and put the clothes in. If you want to go a little AC trip like me and Vin do occasionally, it's an awesome bag. So thank you to Varsity Coolers.
Drinking at your 6-year-old twin's birthday party. Love to see it.
At the house, it's a house party.
Yeah. Well, some would call it alcoholism. I call it commitment, So shout out Varsity Coolers. Very cool bag.
Yes.
I can't wait to rep it in the summer. One, because football season will be over, and we won't have to deal with the Titans for a little bit. And
you know what you can do? Use it for a hospital bag when you go get your little girl.
That is very true. Or we could put all the money you've been winning with your picks in there and carry it around.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Jared's on an unreal run. Obviously, we bet not only the NFL and the picks we give out to you, but our own bets as well. And Jared, I'll give props and props are due. The kid's been hot.
Well, as of 2 weeks ago, I was 23 of 24. It's been a little slow run right now. Like I said, I missed it by 4 yards last week, but I'm coming back to life this weekend.
There you go. So speaking of betting, let's dive into our picks and our parlays. I'll start off. I'm going to roll with the Ravens -9.5. To me, this is a bounce back game for them. I'm reading the line here. After a loss and after a Broncos win, you would think that spread be a little less than 9.5, maybe 7 or 8. But the fact it's approaching 10 tells me that is a Ravens line, and I see them taking care of business by double digits here. I like the Miami Dolphins +6. The Buffalo Bills have been hot as of late. The Dolphins have not been hot as of late. But it's a division game. The Dolphins had a tough loss last week. I think they're going to be motivated to get out there and get a win. It's a division game, so I like taking the points in a division game, especially when it's a touchdown. And their offense looked much improved. Say what you want about Tua, but the Dolphins are night and day when he plays compared to when he doesn't play. So he'll be out there again this week. And I think the Dolphins cover the 6-point spread and maybe potentially even win outright. Then I'm going to roll with the Philadelphia Eagles minus 7.5. Jacksonville is awful. They are banged up. They got injuries all over. I don't know if Brian Thomas is playing. I really don't care. The Eagles are getting hot. They are healthy. They are at home. Take it from someone who is basically from Philly, kind of, sort of. I live right outside of Philly. My whole family's there. I've been to plenty of Eagles games. It's going to be ruckus there. It always is. And I think that they beat the ever-loving daylights out of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they will make Doug Peterson wish that he was still the Eagles coach and not the Jaguars.
Good way to put it.
Yeah. So I think they ruined his homecoming. That is plus 601. So $100 will bring you $701. Obviously, 601 of it would be profit. But that is my parlay.
All right, so I'm going to somewhat similar to yours a little bit. I love the Bills -6 against the Dolphins. Like I said, the Bills are getting hot while the Dolphins are on that trajectory of going down. But who knows? It's a division game. They both played each other, sort of well in years past. But I'm all over the Bills. Broncos, the line moved from 8.5 to now 9.5, like you said. Lamar Jackson is kind of a little iffy for this game a little bit. I think he's a little banged up. I'm taking the Broncos plus the 9.5 points. And the Giants against the Redskins, I'm taking the Giants +4. They played extremely well last time they played each other. I think they scored touchdowns and they lit up how many field goals to Washington, 5 or 6. Yeah. That's how Washington won that game. So with that parlay, I have it at plus 589 right now. So that's what I'm going to sprinkle on with this a little bit. As far as our picks for the game, but I want to touch on after the picks real quick. But I want to touch on a little.
Looking at our injury report right here because it just came out, and we have a lot of questionables. We have Tajay out, so I stand corrected. Tajay not playing this week. But Darius Sneed out this week, and then Andrew Ruppich. Shout out him. We don't know really who he is. He is out as well. But then we have a bunch of questionables as well. So I think corrected. Tajay is out, and Will Levis is questionable.
Which leads to where I'm about to go with this. Like I said, this is a very evenly matched game. And, of course, I am not going to pick the Titans to score over 17 points because we've yet to proven that we can actually score more than 2 touchdowns. So I am going to say this is going to be a close game, swing either way, but I'm going to have the Patriots winning 17-16, something similar to another score like I had in previous weeks. Until this team can prove to me that they can consistently move the ball down the field without struggling, these are what the scores are going to be. I mean, our defense is going to, limit their points, but it's just really on the offensive side of the ball. You got to be able to score points. So,
you know what? In the group chat, I chose the Titans to lose. But in the beginning of the show, I said this line is the Titans line. And that's the way I kind of like to bet is I kind of try to read lines. And this line tells me that the Titans win this game. Will they cover? I don't know, but I think they win this game. I think last week they kind of got going a little bit offensively, and I say that only because they got their best offensive weapon going. And I think they try to continue that trend whether or not Mason Rudolph or Will Levis is the quarterback. And I think defensively we make whoever's playing quarterback for the Patriots, Jacoby Brissett or Drake May, I think we make their day tough for them. They're coming off an emotional win too.
Yep.
Which I like sometimes fading a team that comes off an emotional win, especially when they have to travel. So I'm going to change my pick from the group chat. I'm going to pick our Tennessee Titans to win this game. Call me crazy.
Not saying anything.
20-14.
Okay. Listen, everyone's got their opinion. Like I said, everybody in the chat, who watches the show, throw your predictions in there, see how you think this game is going to go as well. Before we wrap up, I want to leave this in your head for next show or even post game, whether we win or lose. Okay, let this sink in your head because I really don't want to get into it right now. I am the Brian Callahan advocate that we need to ride him out. We need to ride him out next year as well to see how this plays out because Rome was not built in one day. I know you and Sal are very sour on the situation. I'm very sour in the situation too because I want to win. I want to win now. I want the Lombardi just like everybody behind the scenes, the way me and you are, and everybody listening right now. But as what I'm saying is Rome is not built in one day. Here are examples from Wes Wisely from Twitter. Here are examples of head coaches, first-year head coaches, and what their records were and what they turned out. Kyle Shanahan started 0-9 in his first season, and he finished at 6-10. Andy Reid with the Eagles, 0-4, finished 5-11. Dan Campbell with the Lions, 0-10-1 first season as Lions head coach, finished 3-13. Zach Taylor, who Brian Callahan was with, his first year head coach as the Bengals, 0-11, finished 2-14. Bill Belichick, when he was the Browns head coach, 2-4, he finished 6-10. And Jeff Fisher started 1-5 in his first season as Oilers head coach, and he ended up going 2-14. So, guys, yes, Rome was not built in one day. We have to develop bring these players in, develop. Listen, you could say anything you want. I am out on Will Levis. It's not really his guy. Let Brian Callahan see that. Let Brian Callahan try to develop. And if he's not going, we got that early pick in all the rounds next year. So just let that sink in a little bit because it is what am I trying to say here? It's not triggering. It's emotional, trying to say, just fire the guy. I understand it. It pisses all of us off because we want the results on the field, especially with the sexy $200 million that we spent this offseason. And what we're seeing on the field right now, 1-6, it's just not turning over. But you got to have faith in what this organization did. Ran was brought here to bring the right guys in, to bring the right head coach in, to bring the right analytics in for football. And I have full trust in this regime, just like I did with Vrabel. And Vrabel, took us to some spots that we haven't seen in a long time where we were minutes away from the Super Bowl and AFC championships. So we just got to give this time, I think, and we just got to right this ship, hopefully, for the rest of this year. And it gets positive, just like the Bengals did, when they got Burrow. They went to the Super Bowl and they were seconds away from being Super Bowl champions. So
yeah, I mean, listen, I think somebody's going to have to go at the end of the year. I don't know if it's Rand. I don't know if it's Callahan, but I do think Amy will give Callahan obviously the rest of this year, probably next year as well. Maybe she gives Rand and Callahan another shot with 2 full off seasons to put together their team and see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not as patient as others. The NFL stands for not for long. For every coach you just named who was successful after a bad start, there's a million coaches who are not successful after bad starts. And I'm not going to put Brian Callahan's name in the same sense as Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, Jeff Fisher,
Zach Taylor. Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand.
So, listen, I appreciate your optimism. I'm not that optimistic. Will Levis was never really our guy. He was Sal. Me and you never. We bought in after game 1. I think he fooled a lot of people with that Falcons game, and that was probably an anomaly. $5 word right there, because ever since
heat on Friday.
Yeah, ever since then he has not been the same. So we'll see what happens with the rest of this year in the off season. But my gut tells me that Callahan and Carthon will be back with changes to the changes to the coaching staff. I don't know what it will be. But if they do get fired, I wouldn't be surprised either. Nobody really knows what Amy's thinking, but I feel like if you're going to spend all that money on all those free agents and, have a new coach and try to have him implement a system, you may need to give him 2 full seasons to see what he can do. We'll see. But my patience is running thin with the whole organization, and I think I'm right to feel that way as our fans,
absolutely,
as our other fans who feel that way. So we'll see what happens. We got some time before the end of the season, and we have a game on Sunday, and I think we're going to win. Even though I think it would probably be better for us if we lost, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it on Sunday, and we promise we will be on the Sunday post-game show. Win or lose. So
yes, absolutely.
With that being said, everyone stay safe, drive sober, or get pulled over. Don't forget to vote early, and that's all I got to say.
That's it, guys. See you Sunday post-game live at the Patriots Titans. Don't forget to like and subscribe, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter and on YouTube and all Apple platforms, especially Spotify. Give a like and a comment. We appreciate everything from you guys. Like you said, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this, but we love talking Titans football, and especially with us three chooches over here. So appreciate everybody. Have a good weekend. And I guess let's go Titans, right?
Juliana, send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.